I'm Lindsay Smith with Real Agriculture, and joining me now it's Nick Betts. He's the Managing Director of CANZA. Nick, what is CANZA?
CANZA is the Canadian Alliance for Net-Zero Agri-food, and this is an organization that was started back in October 2023 by a group of companies that are leading the way in supporting farmers in transitioning agriculture to enhance resilience, enhance farmers' ability to streamline the ability to gather environmental practices and hopefully profit off of them with the value that they provide to society, to corporations, and to supply chains.
Why did CANZA come about?
So I've been working in the agricultural space for a long time now, and in all of the different sectors trying to understand how can we really wrangle sustainability in a way that works for farmers. And there was always one group of supporting actors missing. And back when I joined CANZA last January, one of those groups were a lot of the players in CANZA that have come together and said, look, we need to actually do something together, because we have to do this collaboratively. If we need to stop doing it individually because it takes too much time, it's too complex, it takes too much money. But if we can work together, if we can work collaboratively to cross the financial space, the supply chain space, and the farmer-facing space to go to farmers and say, okay, what do we need? What do you need to help get to these end goals that are really going to benefit farmers and retail and society with different types of pockets, different types of connections, and we're bringing that to the fore. So we're not trying to do anything really new, but we're bringing a whole set of actors with unique skills, unique resources to the table to hopefully support farmers in building even greater resilience.
So yesterday we did get word of a major announcement. So $4 million, a little over $4 million over 3.5 years, not quite 4, 3.5. Tell me about this project. What is this for?
Yeah, this is a really cool project. So we started a pilot for this back when CANZA started, and it was one of the real strong focuses of the CEOs that were driving CANZA's agenda forward was to say, how can we understand the carbon that's in farmers' soils and give them credit for it in a way that looks like a carbon market, looks like insets, whatever it is in the marketplace, but give farmers credit for what they're doing and understanding how can we help support practices that will get them more money and get them being the corporates, what they need from a carbon perspective. So we started that on a farm with Christian Hebert out in Saskatchewan, and we learned a whole lot with the University of Guelph, University of Saskatchewan, other organizations, but we needed to scale it. We need to say, how do we know it's relevant in other provinces? How do we know it works with different crop rotations, different practices? So this piece of funding is through the Agriculture and Agri-food Clean Tech grant, and we're very thankful for them for that contribution with matching funds from Nutrien and Maple Leaf Foods. So there's a very large amount of money here that is coming from the leaders who are trying to drive the soil health movement forward. And we're looking at expanding to up to 20,000 acres across multiple provinces, across different types of crop rotations and different practices to say, does this easier way of measuring carbon, the streamlined way of reporting carbon actually work for a farmer? What doesn't work? And let's fix it so that we can actually give farmer credit for what they're doing on the farm.
Are we still a long way off from having actual payment for carbon?
That's a very complex question. So payment for carbon is something that is voluntary globally now. People who are in the industry will know that there are opportunities around that, but they are very small for a single grower or a small group of growers. The reporting is very onerous. The verification is very onerous for the money that it's worth. So there are a lot of complex factors that go into, is this valuable? I think if I'm a farmer, or when I go to the doctor and I see what my health is like, he gives me metrics different than what I see on my Apple Watch. And it's probably better than shaping my health, nutrition, and athletics to make me healthier. So when we look at this, and when other farmers have come to the table and looked at this, and agronomists, they say, hey, this is a good way that we can learn more about the farm to not only just give a carbon credit, but hopefully with greater understanding of the soils on farms, it will enhance greater literacy of what does soil health mean and how can I build more longer term profitability into my farm that way. So when we're talking about a dollar figure for carbon credit, we're going to try as an industry, but it will take government interaction as well. And that's a big black box right now.
That is an understatement. All right. So now, as you said, looking for 15, maybe 20,000 acres, perhaps across provinces. Farmers who are potentially interested in this project, where would they go for more information?
Yeah, please reach out. The easiest email that will funnel you into the right realm is info@canza.ca, and we'll figure out how we can engage and collaborate more. This is just one piece of what CANZA does, though, and what we want to do is, with this 15, 20,000 acres, is also scale it to over 1 million by 2030, and through a different means. So not just soil health and soil carbon, but looking at a true environmental outcomes marketplace to say, how can we really value everything a farmer is doing from an environmental perspective on farm, and connect it with the people in the supply chain that want these different values in a way that's stackable and matters. So even if you're not necessarily interested or able to connect on this project, CANZA's very much interested in learning what you need as a farmer to engage with this kind of activity.
All right. Nick, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.